Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wine from On the Vine to the Road Tasted. Sitting to my right is...
Hey, Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Hi, guys.
Hello. And I'm Brian still. Today's episode is about our favorite things. A couple of our favorite things. We're keeping the prices low. But we want to talk about other things other than just wine. Well, we like talking about wine.
That's our main thing.
That's our main thing. But
changing it up.
Yeah, we're changing it up just for a little while because we decided it'd be fun for us to share with you what our favorite things are other than wine when it comes to this, the spirit world. The world of spirits.
Creepy.
That sounds kind of creepy, huh? So I think we're going to name it, how does that song go?
From The Sound of Music.
When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I just get a few of my favorite drinks, and then I don't feel so bad.
So this episode is entitled, These Are a Few of My Favorite Things. Too bad we didn't have Julie Andrews here.
I should do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's still around. She's doing good work.
Is.
Yeah, speaking of Julie Andrews. In fact, we had a discussion with her with my parents like 2 months ago or something, and I probably shouldn't talk about it on the podcast. But yeah.
We're just going over some of her works.
Yeah, some of her works, and very surprised to find some of her works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Some that I didn't know about.
Yeah, some, but oh well, that's about it. Yeah. Other than that, things going on. We had a nice meal the other day. We went to Palm Canyon. Had a nice meal. Your mom and dad are looking for a new restaurant because their restaurant closed out here because of the pandemic. And we went to a pizza place and they ordered sushi. And he wondered why it's bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh.
Well,
your dad and your mom are culinary artists. They're very...
Yes, they're very sure what things need to be.
Their expectations
like,
are
a
little high. Yeah.
When it comes to food.
And I wouldn't have noticed the mixture of yesterday's rice with today's rice, or brown rice is what he called
Well, they've
it.
had some very high-end sushi.
Yeah.
And he likes ahi, and it just wasn't what he expected.
Yeah. So.
But we had fun. It was fun. It was just fun being out downtown Palm Springs and walking around and just looking at everybody. There was a lot of people out there.
There was a lot of people. Everyone's getting, everyone's comfortable, but I think like 95% of the people who were out there were wearing their masks.
Yeah, there's always a few that you see throughout not wearing their masks.
I don't know. Science.
It's been like that since the beginning.
That's all I have to say. It's science.
Nothing's been different, really.
Yeah. Oh well. But I guess we're gonna get started on a few of our. I'm not gonna sing again. I promise.
Okay.
A few of our favorite things. But I don't know. You want to start like on our vodkas?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You want to start with yours, and then I'll go over mine?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Or do you want me to start on mine?
How about you start on yours? Because that's our favorite.
Okay.
So, yeah. Start on yours.
So one of my favorite vodkas is called Idol, and the water source is based out of Cognac. So just a little tidbit about vodka. The main factor of a well made vodka, high quality, is the water source. It's all about where the water comes from. So the Idol is from France, and it comes from the waters come from the pristine river, pristine waters of the Côte d'Or in Bourgogne. And the reason why I like this particular vodka so much is because I'm a wine girl, and when I was learning about the different types of vodka that actually can be made not just from wheat or
potatoes,
yeah. I started coming across different vodkas that were more unique, and I found this one. The grapes that are picked for this particular vodka are Chardonnay and Pinot Noir from Burgundy, France, but they are what is called a noble grape. And so they have this particular vodka was one of my favorites because I'm a big like martini fan. Like every time I go out to get a drink with my family or friends, like I'm always like ordering martinis. That's my thing. I like a clean, straight up, straightforward martini. Nothing mixed with it. I don't like to have like fruit stuff or sugars or anything like that. When I was a kid, my favorite movie, well, I don't know how old I was, but I used to watch all my movies experiences were with my dad. And the first time I watched James Bond and I saw the whole scene with him and his martini, and I was like, oh, that's going to be my drink when I grow up.
Shaken, not stirred.
Shaken, not stirred. And just something about that clear drink and that pretty glass, like, it's very sophisticated and very elegant, but very simple. And then just the olives, like this. He had, I think, a lemon rind twist always added to his martini, but I prefer green olives. And so I don't know why every time I order a martini, it has to be 4 olives. And that's the way I drink it. But when I started to get into vodkas that were made from grapes, I enjoyed it even better. And this was a great choice for somebody who can't have something that's gluten or they have a wheat intolerance. That's also a note to keep about this one. And the grapes are also sustainably farmed, so it's made by biodynamic sustainably farming practices, which I'm very much into in my studies of wine. That's something that I'm been leaning towards, gearing towards. We've been studying about different vintners and wine producers that just utilize those aspects of the wine industry. So another plus for me for this favorite. And the producer himself of this product, his name is Jean-Charles Bousset, and he's from one of the largest wine groups and largest wine producers in Burgundy, France. So for me, this is just a very simple, very classic, very elegant, or I like to say eloquent, because when you drink it, it's very smooth. It just kind of flows and glides along the palate. It's not complicated, but it's giving you this nice sophisticated taste. You can mix this vodka and make mixed drinks and cocktails, but when I taste it, it's like telling me that it just wants to be drank straight. I know we like to sip it also, but I do like it, and that's my favorite thing is to make a martini from it. But it's like a taste that's pure, very straightforward, and it has notes of like citrusy kind of tones. It has a little bit of kind of like so the Chardonnay grape that is derived brings out citrusy like kind of notes like lemon, maybe a little orange. Then you get notes of like fruit, like dried fruit from the Pinot Noir. So you're getting more of a deeper kind of flavor from that. So the combination of the two grapes makes a very complex vodka. So that's one that I'd like to share with you. It's also highly rated. In 2006 and 2013, it won 3 industry awards from the San Francisco World Spirits. So in 2005, 2006, 2012, it got silver medal and gold medal awards. So it's a highly acclaimed vodka, a rating in I believe the 90s, the high 90s. So, What's your favorite vodka?
Well,
besides that one,
eat all is my favorite.
Like that one.
Eat all is one of my favorites. But I remember when I was younger, I'd go to Costco and get their big bottles of vodka they had there, and I liked their vodka. And then when I got introduced to Idol, I've never bought it there again. Because it was harsh. It was like really hard, but I thought that's what all vodkas are supposed to be. They're supposed to be harsh, and you're supposed to put hair in your chest and everything, But there's something about
girls don't think like that.
Yeah,
hopefully not.
Hair on your lip?
No,
no, but So I didn't know. I just thought that's the way it was. You could mix with that stuff over there, but I noticed that if you don't use high quality vodkas, like you could go up to the hundreds, the 200s to 300s for really high quality vodka. But when it comes to, for one, I think I drink too much to afford that, and then for two, it's I don't like seeing the residue that comes up when you're mixing. So when I mix with the vodkas, and it's I don't want to say poorly made, but when the ingredients aren't, when it's made for high production, and sometimes the quality can be halfway decent, but the production is really high. You can see stuff floating to the top that usually isn't.
That's a good point, because the Idol of the descriptives about it, or that it's a crystal clear, very like by sight, very clean, and that's because it's 7 times distilled. It's distilled in 7 columns, so it's more of a. That's more of a higher production, like you were saying, higher quality process than the way that they can mass produce or make it in bulk. They don't do that with this one. And then it's 5 times distilled. Yeah. So it's very smooth. That extra filtration gets that clear note that you're talking about.
So I was introduced to this one kind of by accident, but there's a company called Hawaii Sea Spirits. They're located in Akula, Hawaii, and they make a vodka called Ocean Vodka. And to the smell, it smells like you can smell the sugar cane, because it's made directly from sugar cane. It's 80 acres. It's an 80-acre USDA organic farm, and it comes from everything is sourced right there on the island. When it comes to the vodka, it's all Hawaiian made. And in 2019, it was one of the companies that was selected out of all 50 states to be shown at the White House for U.S. businesses. So they're highly esteemed, especially out of Hawaii. But the water from this vodka comes from they say it's an old glacier from Greenland that's 3,000 feet below the surface of Hawaii. So they got a well that goes down 3,000 feet, and it's pulling from this old glacier. And that's where they're getting their water from. And then, of course, they use sugarcane grown right on the 80-acre farm that they have. This is their... what's it called? Like their mothership, their mother.
Yeah, it's their flagship.
This is their flagship. They have other things, like they have their Brum, not the show from Britain. It's Brum that they make. I'm not gonna go too far on this, but a Brum is not available anywhere in the United States except for Hawaii. You have to buy it from Hawaii. You can't get it shipped here. Yeah, you have to go to the island. Yeah, so it's very unfortunate, because this rum is so good, and the only thing that compares to it is a pink pigeon. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, the Brum rum that these same people make. But when you drink the vodka, for one, when you smell it, you can definitely smell the sugar cane. You can, I hate to say it, but you can smell a light, almost like a milk. It's very, very, like a light milk, sugar cane.
Like milk and sugar.
Yeah, yeah. And then when you drink it, it's extremely creamy, and it's extremely smooth. It's not harsh going down. And so I'm not as good at taking out flavors as a Jasmine is, but I know when something's good. Yeah. And this Ocean vodka is extremely good. And what's nice about this vodka too is it is available everywhere in the United States.
Yeah, what I liked about the Oceans is it's like, you can say a spirit is clean, and I felt the Oceans was clean, but it's not clean like the way you taste. Normally, clean, you get like almost, you're still tasting like an alcohol burn, citrusy, kind of acidic, but that doesn't mean that it's negative. It's just that in the Oceans, it's the clean. I would describe it as something more softer. It's a little bit more delicate. It's almost like the way you would taste an alkaline water to an acidic water. That's how I view the oceans. It's like it has a very pleasing taste on the palate. It's very smooth. It's creamy, like you were saying, but it's almost like a light cream. It's like it's not heavy. It's not heavily creamed. It's not heavily textured. But it has a very unique taste due to the water source of where the base or foundation of that vodka. And so it's very unique. It's very different. And then the Brum that you'll talk about later is quite unique too. They're very expressive to the indigenous factors that come with making these products by the Oceans Distillery.
Yeah. So again, it is organically farmed. And I don't know if you've ever had a milk vodka. There's a milk vodka out there called a Black Cow, and that's pretty good stuff too. But this is without getting into the milk vodka. This sugarcane vodka is it's excellent. It really is. It's if you ever find it. Unfortunately, a majority of this is sold at the larger stores, your Total Wines and your Bevmos. But
the Oceans?
Yeah, the Oceans vodka. I don't think he's gone to the small stores yet. It's not a very old vodka. It's not, I think 2015 or 2014 was their first year, I believe. I might be wrong, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but it's not very old. So I'm sure in the next 4 to 5 years, we'll start seeing them being shipped out to the smaller stores, to the local stores.
When a company starts off, they usually want their name to get known, and so going to the larger retail stores is going to get them to be recognized faster, to meet their goal as a company, and for their product to be reached out to different types of markets. And when I mean markets, I'm talking about the different types of people that come in and buy product. And also the shape of the bottle is very unique. It's got this beautiful round shape with a flat bottom. When you look at it, it kind of deceives your eye, like how is that sitting flat on the surface without falling over? But it catches your eye because the color of it is the bottle makes it look like the color of the ocean. So the glass is tinted.
Yeah. If you ever get out to Hawaii, I remember getting gas at Hawaii. Gas is so expensive. Everything was expensive. The rental cars, everything. But this rum, I think it goes for $20 a bottle over at Hawaii Sea Spirits. If you go right to their farm, I don't know what it is beyond that, but yeah, that's really expensive.
A luxury rum, so I don't know if you're there because you can't get it anywhere else, but I know that when you go to like the distilleries or wineries, sometimes they're exclusive. In this case, you can only get it there.
Yeah, and it is a limited series. You only made so much.
Yeah.
The distiller, the what would you call that? The person who puts it together.
Master distiller?
Yeah, the master distiller. He only made a certain amount because you start getting into multiple years of the same product, your taste is going to change. So they wanted to make sure the taste was the same. So it is a limited series. When it's gone, it's gone.
And with the Brum, it's unique because it's a bourbon barrel aged rum. So they're mixing the bourbon, artisanal bourbons that are sourced by the master distiller. And his name is, you have that down?
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
His name is Scott. I believe his last name's Scott.
Oh, Scott Shea, right?
No. No, that's somebody else. But
Scott Shea, he's a CEO.
Yeah, the master distiller of Oceans is he's the one that actually went out and picked the artisanal bourbons that he sourced from different places, and they were on an average of between 4 to 12 years that he was looking for these high quality bourbons, and he brought them back to his distillery to mix with the oceans on hand rums that they had there.
Mm-hmm.
So then he aged it for another 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
So it makes it it was released to Hawaii as a luxury rum.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's unique about that product.
Yeah, it is a small bottle. It's not 750 milliliters.
It's a beautiful bottle.
It is a beautiful
picture
bottle. Yeah.
is when I was looking at it, because I've been to all the Hawaiian Islands except for the main one, which you've been to the main one.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking at the bottle and I thought it was a good representation of the fact of what the islands are based out of, how they're formed. They're made from volcanic eruptions that create the soil, they create the terroir, the climate, all the different things that form the islands. And so the bottle is this like bronzed color with like a gold kind of like, I guess you call like flicks or squiggly lines, like kind of all around the bottle, but it looks like lava. If you look at it, it looks like earth, like an earthen type of floor, like a floor of how the lava looks as it comes down the soil or the sand or that volcanic eruption, how it looks on the earth, So I was looking at the bottle, I was like, how clever, because it kind of takes you to what you see when you're there and what's so unique about the islands.
It's like smooth volcanic rock.
Yeah, and the bottle just it fits it perfectly of what you know about how islands are created and the deep sea, eruptions that happen from the bottoms of the depths of the sea that travel up through the volcanic eruption, and then that explosion creates all the different elements of the soil and up to the sand, and then spilling off into the ocean there. So the bottle is a beautiful depiction of what the islands are. So I thought they did a good job. Whoever designed their bottle, it was just a beautiful representation of that.
It was. And
I was going to bring out the distiller's name, as I was studying about him a little bit earlier. And I had it in my description. His name is Bill Scott.
Oh, it's Bill Scott?
Bill Scott, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the master distiller of Brum. So.
Mm-hmm. And those are both from Hawaii Sea Spirits. Mm-hmm. What's your next thing you got there?
Oh, are you done with yours?
Yeah. Oh. Well, I'm done with my rum. I got some. Well, I'm not done with all my rum.
Oh,
I was going to talk about another rum.
Okay, so you're just like coming back to me now.
Yeah.
So my next.
Well, you were covering my stuff.
Do you have any other things you wanted to add about that?
No, you had a lot more stuff than I did. I was going to bring out a little bit about Brum because I was going to focus on a pink pigeon for a little while.
Okay. Well, since I just talked, why don't you talk about pink pigeon?
All right. So this is my favorite rum, is a pigeon rum, and this is from the island of Mauritius. And Mauritius is about I think it's 300 miles off the island of Madagascar. The pink pigeon rum is created by a gentleman named Alain Châtel. He's a Frenchman, and he kind of figured out like what he wanted to do. What they do is they take from the island of Reunion, which used to be known as the Isle of Bourbon, and they grow vanilla on this island. So it's called bourbon vanilla. So they use bourbon vanilla. They use and these are hand picked in the rainforests of Reunion and in Madagascar. They use the flower petals of orchids from Reunion. And then they also use, I lost it in my head. I used to remember everything. I can't remember everything anymore. But yeah, so there were three big things. I'll remember the last one later. And
it wasn't honey, was it?
No, it wasn't honey. It was vanilla.
You talked about a certain flower, orchid.
It was the orchids. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The orchids are from the Isle of Bourbon.
Was that the one you were trying to?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. Then there's a third thing. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. But yeah, so this has there's one you can get that can be shipped to California. It's like $30, and it's called Pink Pigeon Rum Spiced. It's not the same. If you need to get the original, you need to go to New Zealand.
Or you the bottle.
Yeah.
It has a unique
So it's a pure black bottle with the writing on it. So it says, a pigeon original, and that's what I'm talking about.
Too.
Yeah,
it has a little pink collar around the
yeah,
neck
it has
of the
a
bottle.
pink collar around the top, and it's named after the pink pigeon, which is a highly endangered species from the Isle of Mauritius, and that's why they named it after that, because it's a very rare bird, and it's a very beautiful bird, and it's highly endangered, and so they named it after that.
Wish we had pink pigeons here.
You too.
Our pigeons here are boring.
Okay, Americans just shoot them and wear feathers in their caps. It's rare, we gotta shoot it.
I'm sorry, I don't mean any offense to all you pigeon lovers.
Yeah, no, but I'm the one who said it, and not you. You wish we had pink pigeons here. Yeah, so it's named after the pink pigeon, and so everything comes from either Reunion or comes from Madagascar. Everything's handpicked, and so you can only get it in New Zealand or Reunion. I have a friend who goes to New Zealand, but because the last year or 11 months or 12 months we've had this pandemic, she can't go get it, and I'm just really disappointed. Our friend had it. He had a bottle, and he and I and Jasmine would sip. About once every 2 months we'd have a sip from it, because we know it's just a limited amount. And then someone came over and just robbed them of all. I'm not saying robbed, but
they drank it
they
without
him knowing about it,
He's
and they
a
didn't
very
know what
dear
they were
friend of
drinking.
ours, so,
They didn't know what they were drinking, and I'm so disappointed that they were fired. And
it was a special. Our friend shares with us very highly sought after, because he's like a collector himself.
He is,
and he finds some very unusual things, and he's had chances to travel.
He goes to Turkey, and
he's been to Africa.
Yeah, he's been to Africa and New Zealand, and that's where he got this stuff at, was at New Zealand.
And like Brian said, you can't get, again, he has favorites for good reason, but unfortunately you can't get these favorites unless you go to the countries or the islands. So.
But if you're ever in New Zealand or anywhere near New Zealand, get the pink pigeon rum. It is ridiculously good, but not the spiced. Just don't get the spiced one. Well, you can if you want to. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say don't get the spiced. That's not the one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, we can't recommend it because you haven't tried it.
I've never had it.
You've only had the original.
Yeah, I've never had it. I like the original, and I like my stuff. So but it's very smooth. Has large hints of vanilla, and you can definitely taste the orchid petals, and so it's got hints of cinnamon, but from start to finish it's completely smooth. So that's my favorite rum.
Yeah, that was very unique too. That was
it was
a standout bottle. All right, so the next favorite of mine, so I started out vodka. Now I'm going to go into my favorite brandy. It's called Symbol, and it is an XO, and it is from the appellation of Cognac, France. So again, this is another distilled product that I like. It's made from grapes, and it has been one of my favorites probably since 2016. And it's actually from one of my favorite houses that make higher end cognacs. This is labeled or categorized under a brandy, which is just if you get into depth about brandy, cognac, Armagnac, it's all about aging and time and going from different levels, VS, VSOP, XO. And that's for a later discussion because we're just talking about our favorites right now. But it's from the house of Eau de Fussinée, which is one of my favorite houses from Cognac. And this is a spirit that is basically blended and aged for 6 years in barrels from the Limousin oak forest. So it gives it an excellent dimension of character. It has a lot of deep notes of dried fruit, you get a very satiny, smooth, rounded body on the palate with an excellent balance of taste. And for people that walk in and just like, oh, they want to buy a brandy, and they usually go to just, I don't want to say specific names, but there's about 2 or 3 specific brandies that people always go for. And this brandy is under $20, and it is from the region of Cognac appellation. So you can't beat that for a brandy. The quality and the fact that it comes from de Fussenay Chateau. So it's from them. They're the producers of this brandy. So I would highly recommend this one. It's great for sipping. You can use it for mixing. It's not too precious to mix with anything, but Brian and I like to drink things straight unless it's something specific, like we like to make White Russians and things like that. But this is definitely a sipper. For under $20, it's impressive because it's very smooth again, it's very rounded, it's very balanced in taste, and it's hard to find a brandy that is not sweet and not highly acidic or kind of has a bite to it. So this one is very, very smooth and rounded, and it has a beautiful color. It has this amber color with flicks of golden hues that kind of lace it throughout. So when you're looking at the bottle in light, it has like this interlacing of golden, like a golden touch or gold flicks of gold. It's like it's very honey and honeyed, like a honey kind of amber look.
Yeah.
And the taste is also rich in a honey velvet tone with toasty nuances. And what I picked up like mid palate was like a creamy kind of oily texture, and that's what gives it that depth or that like heightened level of taste. Is you're getting oils from like a macadamia nut. So when I say toasty, think of that kind of tone. But also, if you think of a macadamia nut, when you go to taste it, it's creamy and oily. And that's the kind of flavors that I got. We had researched some floral notes, like you had researched monofloral honey, because I was also saying to you that I got out for the aromatics, it was like floral with hints of honey. And so I was asking you what type of honeys like have the floral tones. And I don't think we have anything around here in our neck of the woods that is probably described like that. I mean, there are specific honeys. There's buckwheat honey. There's manuka honey, which is from the Hawaiian Islands. That's a very delicate, light floral. But this one had a heavier tone. And so you were saying how this is specifically derived from a certain location or a certain region? Yeah.
So it gave, when I was reading it, it gave examples of when there's a specific type of tree in bloom, like a cottonwood or something like that, they would harvest when that bloom was done to get ready for the next harvest. And so the next harvest, like say North America, a majority of our honey comes from avocado. So the bees, a majority of the bees, or a majority of what we get for our honey, it comes from avocado trees. So the nectar from the avocado trees is what's used to make a lot of our honey. So, but on specific islands, they're saying that they can do what's called like a monofloral. So if they only have like 3 or 4 major types of crop that bloom, and they bloom at different times of the season, then the beekeepers will harvest when the bloom is done, so they don't mix those florals together, and that's when they can sell, like, you got your cottonwood honey, and then you got your...
So it could be singular, one type.
Yeah, one, so it's monofloral honey. Yeah, I wish I could give a better...
I think that's
description.
That's a good description for what I'm talking about. That's kind of what I'm getting out of the symbol, is that kind of that note, that specific floral tone. I tried to do some research on the area and the different types of trees that were in that area, but there wasn't really anything about like honey. But there's definitely honey taste that just kind of pop out on your palate. And along with that, I got an orange oil and then a candied orange peel, followed by vanilla and dried red fruits. So again, it's a really nice brandy for sipping, and just if you want, if you're someone who doesn't like to mix things up, it's just really nice and straightforward, but has a really nice richness and depthful flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's good. Mm-hmm. And I was going to talk about ABK6, which is a cognac. I'm going to keep it really short because I want to keep this under like 45 minutes or something like that. But there's a cognac that I like called ABK6, and it's a project derived from a father and daughter, Francis and Elodie, and I don't know. It's just a rather inexpensive cognac. You can get the VSOP, and it's rated 96 points through the International Wine and Spirits competition in 2020. Or 2000, yeah, in 2020. So yeah, it's rated 96 points, which sometimes ratings don't matter, but in this case it does.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's got like a cinnamon and toffee, and it's got almost like a raisinette. Yeah, on the nose. Mm-hmm. And then it has a taste of like fresh fruits and soft oak and light spices, and of course a little bit of vanilla at the end, right there. And it's extremely smooth. So the VSOP, if you can find it on sale, you can get it under $40. If you can't afford that, there's one called a VS, the very special. It's not as good, but it's still highly rated. It's under $30. It's like usually about $26 for that one. So ABK6.
You're talking about the VS versus the VSOP.
Yes, VS versus VSOP. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the VS is just a tad bit more rough, which you should expect because you're getting the VS and not the VSOP.
Yeah, because of the different levels.
Yeah.
Of smoothness and aging, it has to do with the aging process.
Yeah, it's a very, and I like the venture that. It was the daughter's idea, and then the father, who already has a distillery and everything, he helped her,
Yeah, he helped his daughter get to where she was trying to go with that. She found her calling or whatever. And,
yes. Yeah. So if you see a picture of them together, they're very, very happy. And I'm going to cover my Scotch really quick, and I'll hand it off to you. Yeah. So. If you're ever in a pinch for a nice Scotch, a 12-year Scotch, there's a company out there called Shieldaig, Shieldag, and it's charred American oak, vanilla, caramel, and a pepper on the finish. It's a single malt Scotch whiskey, and if you're really lucky, you can find it for about $30. And again, it's a 12-year Scotch. Sometimes you can find it for $25 if you're really lucky. But yeah, that's my Scotch, Shieldaig, and I always have that on hand.
That's from the one you're talking about is from Speyside.
Yeah, it's from Speyside. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a sub area in the Highlands of Scotland. And so, with that area, it's like you were bringing out the spice and the oak, and those are traditional tastes that you get from that region and or area of Scotland. And so, as you move through different parts of the Highlands, you can go to from those tastes, earth, spice, oak, and then you go into a different area of the Highlands where it becomes more sweeter, caramel, toffee, and then you get to Islay, which we've had some Shieldaig from Islay.
Yeah. And
those are going into more gamey, briny. They're picking up the flavors of the terroir from the things that are picked there that they put in the distillation process. Mm-hmm. So very significant. That is our favorite, for our go-to, like you said.
It is. And I've had the 12-year. We've had the 16-year. Mm-hmm. I haven't had the 21 year. I haven't had that
You've
yet.
had that.
I think that was Grangestone. I think we had the Grangestone.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah, I haven't had the 21 year Shieldaig. Yeah. The Grangestone was good too, but that was 21 year. I think you get almost any Scotch 21 year. It should be good. If not, I'm gonna write him a letter.
I'm sure it all depends on the smoothness, but it also depends on the master distiller behind it and their methods and technique. There's a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but I mean those are the ones that we don't keep the pink pigeon on hand. I'm lucky to have the Brum. I came across that. I was very lucky. Ocean vodka we always have on the top shelf.
Yeah.
And
Shieldaig is a go-to.
And the Shieldaig, when I run out, just go get more. It's rather inexpensive. It's still good stuff.
We buy different kinds. We buy 18 year, 12 year, but the one that we have like a staple is a 12 year.
Yeah, it's a 12 year. It's good stuff. And then you were talking about your. Oh my gosh, my memory's going. Bye bye.
What, my last product?
Yeah, the last product. Yeah.
It's so the last spirit that I was going to talk to you that is my favorite is from Armagnac. It's called Jollite. It's a VSOP. It's an average price bottle of $50. So depending on what store you're at or where you find it, I haven't seen it at a whole lot of places, but there's a place in Long Beach, or not Long Beach, it's Laguna. It's called High Times, and they pretty much carry everything there. I think I've seen everything there. I haven't been there in a while. I went there a couple years ago. But, yeah, it's they have everything from wine to Cognac, Armagnac, Scotch, chocolates from all over the world. I found some of my favorite Spanish and Italian wines there.
Yeah, maybe bounty hunters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
But what's interesting about this Armagnac is that it's made in honor of the French-Canadian explorer Louis Jollite, and that's where this was inspired from, the inspiration. And just a little bit about Armagnac, it undergoes a column distillation, which I brought out earlier, like the Idol vodka. It's more of a small batch production method, more unique. It's not produced in bulk. It has more refinements to it, and it's a highly rated one by wine enthusiasts. It's reached scores of 97 points. It's an easy sipping Armagnac, but again, it's a VSOP, so very special old pale. You could still mix it if you wanted to. It's not like you can't mix it. It's not that extreme in being like of a delicate taste that you can't mix it.
Yeah, it's got legs on it too.
Yeah, it does. It has some nice viscous to it.
Yeah.
And it's also reached the top 100 spirits in 2018. And the description of it, I would say, is light, and it's a light and delicate brandy with notes of dense fruit and vanilla. It has, again, notes of flowers and hints of like a lime tea. So if you think of lime, it can be clean. It's a little bit more, I want to say, stands out a little bit more unique to lemon. Lemon is just, when you taste it's fresh, it smells fresh and clean. But the lime gives you like the specific citrus tone with a tea note. So if you're smelling like a kind of like a floral, hints of like a lime peel blended sachet of tea, it's kind of like that. And this particular one was aged for 5 years. So for that duration of time, I think $50 at an average price is a really nice one.
For an Armagnac, it is.
Yeah, for an Armagnac. So that's one of my favorite Armagnacs. I mean, these are ones that came to our mind that we wanted to share with you this week. We want to do something different, talk about the favorite things we like to drink during the week. I'm sure all you guys have your favorite things you like to go to during the week, something that you just like, you hit your mind and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta go home, I gotta have this, because it's something that you can unwind with, something that you can relax with. And it's not about drinking just anything. It's about having your go-to, having your friendly, spirit or wine that you like to go to. And for us, we usually tend to sip these items, instead of like opening up a bottle of wine, we're doing specifically about our studies, our research, pairing with our foods, because we love to cook. Brian and I do all those different things. We like to kind of make like our own art kind of out of what we're doing with wine. With this, we're highlighting just the things that we like to taste, like the things that we love to go to. Like we love specific rums, and we love specific vodkas and cognacs and scotches, and we come across some unique items, and that's what these are for us, and we wanted to share them with you guys tonight. So some are hard to find, some are easier to find. You can, as you know, look them up and Google them. And if you're travelers and you're getting out there again, because things are kind of changing it up for things opening, even when it comes to traveling. So you guys can try to find these ones. And then if you have any questions, you can always let us know, and we can send back to you some information again if you need some more help with some facts about these products.
Yeah. And yeah, I keep getting emails of Sonoma Valley's open. Sonoma Valley's open.
I think in January, I had a lot of my clients tell me that Sonoma was open. They had already gone back to the wineries in Paso Robles and Sonoma, and that was in January. So. Yeah, they're real excited.
Me too. I'm excited too. All right, guys. So these are a few of our favorite things.
Yes.
I didn't sing this song. I'm gonna let you sing this out. No, I'm gonna let you sing this out.
No. I haven't had enough to drink. Sorry.
No,
sorry, guys.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, really appreciate all who put up with this one, but we just wanted to share this stuff with you and let you know what we have. Please let us know what you guys try. You can go to our website at jasmineandbrian.com and share.
We did put a picture up of the Brum on our Instagram, so if you happen to be an Instagrammer, you can check that one out, and we'll try to post some others like the Oceans. And we had already posted Idol vodka, so if you go back on our earlier pictures, we have that one posted. It's a pretty significant bottle. A lot of these ones happen to be in pretty noticeable bottles. So the Idol is a frosted bottle with some grapes on it. It has a little bit of purple, my favorite color. And we have it on our Instagram page, so you can see some images, and then again, let us know what you think.
Yeah. All right. So this is wine, or today spirits, from On the Vine to the Road Tasted. And these were a few of our favorite things.
Sorry, I can't sing with you. I'm sorry.
Now I don't feel so bad.
But they do.
You're like, stop! Shut it off!
All right.
All right.
Talk to you guys later. Have
Thanks,
a good
guys.
one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.